Well, lockdown number 3 is upon us. Fishing has been restricted to days only, and that's even if the fisheries have decided to even open their gates. But still, there's plenty you can be getting on with over the next few weeks. So here are a few helpful pointers that will hopefully keep those weeks ticking over and get you super organised, ready for when we can get back out on the bank. Right, so my first little point would be go and dig out your rod license. Now, these rod licenses run from the day you bought them or a predated date that you would have specified upon sort of buying your rod license at the post office or online, for example. So yeah, they either start from the day you bought it or a future date that you may have made. So it's well worth digging this out. Mine, for example, runs out on the 14th of the 5th this year, so I know I've got a good sort of 4 months yet before that runs out. But yours, on the other hand, could be a completely different date. It could have expired already, or it could be due for renewal, even if you are getting out on the bank for days only. So you know, it's well worth getting that out and just having a little look and popping a reminder in your phone to get that renewed. Obviously there's hefty fines, and if you don't renew it, then like I say, you could be pulled up at any time on the bank, and yeah, like I say, you could be paying some expensive money towards yeah, a big hefty fine. So well worth looking at your rod license. And another point I make is just make sure that you're getting it from the .gov website or visiting your local post office. There are a number of different websites out there that basically charge you an extra fee on top of handling or administrating a rod license, and these can be sort of up to double the amount for a license. I've seen people over the past few seasons get stung by these. So yeah, I would certainly recommend, like I say, getting it from the .gov website or visiting your post office to make sure that you're not going to be scammed out of any extra money that you need to be paying. You know, the fees are online. They are set fees, whether you're buying a sort of a 2-rod or a 3-rod. You shouldn't be paying over and above those fees. So yeah, always use a, like I say, the .gov website or a post office, and don't get scammed by any of those dodgy websites out there that are nicking your money. Right, well, my next little tip, get out to your shed, get out to your garage or your bait cupboard, wherever you're storing all your bits of bait, and do a bit of a stock take. Now, as you can see, I've literally got the bare bones left, but luckily Baitworks have got a 20% off sale across the entire range throughout the month of January. So I will be certain to make the most of that. Again, with any other bait suppliers that you're using, keep an eye out for deals, online deals, discount deals, and really make the most of basically bulking out all of your bait, ready for sort of like the spring and your campaigns ahead. It's the best way of saving money, and like I say, if you're clever about it, you can save a few extra quid to put towards something else, for example. But yeah, as you can see over my shoulder, I'm down to the bare bones, and I will certainly need to be topping that up throughout the rest of this month. Again, if you've got hook baits, for example, you can start pimping and prepping your hook baits ready for your spring. You can get out any particles that you may have, start boiling a load up, get it into a freezer if you've got an outside freezer, for example. Basically, as like any tackle, don't forget about your bait. Get it all prepared, get it all ready, get it all stocked up, and yeah, you'll be ready to hit the ground running once we can get out on those longer sessions. Another little tip I can give you is basically have a little stock take like your bait, but with your leads. See what you have got, what you haven't got, what you need, and put a little list together, put an order together, and get it over to your sort of preferred lead supplier. There's plenty out there nowadays that will be making them from home. So yeah, personally I don't pay the shop prices for leads because yeah, I'd rather use that sort of extra money towards something else, for example. But yeah, there's plenty of people doing them from home that are really good quality nowadays, and yeah, you can find these pretty much all over social media. So like I say, I'd certainly recommend having a little stock take, seeing what you have and haven't got. Right, although today is probably not the best day to demonstrate or talk about this based on the weather that's just over my shoulder, but still, it's well worth getting your brolly or your bivvy or your shouter out on a nice sort of winter's sunny day and giving it a bit of a wipe down, a bit of a clean down. As you can imagine, these go through every single element that's thrown at them, and yeah, they deserve a bit of TLC. Now, it's well worth, if you've had yours for a number of years, is to get your hands on some reproofer, you know, and reseal it, basically, bringing it back to as good as new. There's nothing like you know, a downpour and rain and you realise that you know, the sort of the seals have gone on it, or it's not as sort of waterproof as it used to be. So it's well worth, like I say, getting your shouter out of the shed, giving it a bit of a wipe down, and like I say, getting your hands on some proofer and just painting it on with a paintbrush and allowing it to dry. That way, like I say, once you get back out on the bank, it'd be pretty much like as new. So as you can see over my shoulder, my landing net, I've got my retainer sling there, also mats etc. over my shoulder as well. Now, some of you may actually still be out fishing days only. Some of you, if like myself, are going to be finding it a little bit more harder to get out on the bank through this period of lockdown. So when you get better weather, unlike today, it's well worth getting out the slings, the mats, the nets, everything that you're sort of using as your carp care, and giving them a really good sort of wash down, getting yourself a bucket of water and giving, like I say, a good scrub down, good wash down. And if it's a lovely, beautiful, sunny, winter's sunny day, getting these sort of hung out over the line or on the fence and just giving them some nice direct sunlight. Not only that, you know, you're cleaning it all down, and you're also killing any nasties that may sort of, you know, live on any wet nets and mats and slings that you have packed away from your last sessions. You'd be surprised just how much muck builds up in and around sort of like the, you know, the ceramic rings on your rods. You'd be surprised just how much muck gets in and around on your spod reel. They could really do with a good wipe down, give it sort of a greasing up and a bit more lubrication to yeah, keep that working good as new. Not only that, on the spod rods as well, all in the reel seats, you will find that it just gets absolutely caked with pretty much everything, really. Everything out on the bank, from mud to bait to you name it. You know, all this gear that we spend hundreds of pounds on year in, year out, just gets put through the elements. And like I say, now is as good a time as any to really give a bit of a TLC, a good sort of spring clean, and yeah, keep it all working like new. Not only that, I found my finger stool on my spod rod as well, and as you can see, that's sporting some nice white fluff, so that will need to be rinsed off and washed through as well. So yeah, there's plenty that you could be doing. Like I say, get yourself some brownie points, say you're going to be doing the washing up, but in fact what you're doing is bringing half of the contents of your garage or shed up to the wash basin and giving it all a good washing over. Well, back into the comfort of the living room, why not bring a few bits up, like your tackle pouch for example, like your rig pouch or tackle safe, and yeah, of an evening maybe just put your feet up, put something on the box, my videos obviously, but yeah, in all seriousness, why not bring up a few bits to allow you to make a few rigs. As you can see, this is kind of half full, but I know there that I've got sort of 5 or 6 rigs at least already made for the different types of rigs that I use. So as I said, it is winter, you don't really want to be faffing around outside with cold numb fingers trying to make rigs out on the bank, when, like I say, you can spend a couple of hours of an evening just putting a few together and getting them stored in, like I say, a rig safe or a rig pouch, and you know that you can maximize your time out on the bank once you've got, you know, these rigs already made. Bite opportunities are small, are limited. You know, you don't want to get a bite and then realise that you haven't got a new freshly tied rig to get on to get back out, and you've got to sit around, like I say, faffing around in the wind, wet, rain, cold, you name it. You don't want to be sitting there trying to tie up a rig when you could already have half a dozen of each already tied. So that is well worth looking into, and like I say, just getting something that you can store them in ready to go. And not only that, like I say, bring your tackle pouch in, because once you've made a load of rigs up, you might find that you need to replenish a few bits and pieces. And at the moment, stocks across the fishing industry are yeah, very limited, so you don't want to leave it to chance that you might not be able to pick up your favorite pack of hooks, or you know, your favorite type of lead clip or this or that, because they are out of stock. Because like I say, fishing stocks are very limited at the moment. A lot of stock on sort of the online retailers are showing as not available, so it's well worth, like I say, bringing your tackle pouch in again, doing a bit of stock take on that, getting all your favorite bits and pieces crammed into it, and yeah, you'll be ready to make the most and maximize your time out on the bank. Okay, so I hope you've found this video useful. You know, none of it is groundbreaking, none of it is revolutionary. It's just some real simple pointers to help you get the most out of lockdown if you are unable to get out on the bank. And not only that, if you are able to get out on the bank, it just allows you to be super organized to maximize your chances of putting some bonus days only fish on the bank. So thanks for watching. Any comments, feel free to stick down below. Come and get in touch with me on my social media, and I'll catch up with you guys sometime soon.